All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's call of the Crypto Mondays Collective. We've got a great featured guest today, Sumit Surana, who works at Cipher Capital, Dubai-based crypto investment firm, and he'll be telling you all about that, as well as some new initiatives up at Cipher Capital. And we'll hand it over to Sumit. We'll hand it over to you in just a couple minutes, just real quick. First, happy Wednesday to all the collective members. Next week, I'll be in New York and I'll be at Crypto Mondays Bitcoin, which is the third Monday of the month. And we hold that at PubKey, the Bitcoin bar in New York, so that we always get a packed house for that. And then the following Monday, let's see, the following Monday, the 28th will be Crypto Mondays Dubai, doing a fireside chat with Ilya, the founder of Near. And haven't started marketing yet, but just from the Luma event page, we've already have 875 RSVP.
Wow.
So I think exactly. I think we're going to have a packed house for that. And the decentralized AI agency, we just celebrated our 2-month anniversary at 70 founding members. And so you can go take a look at them all on the logo wall. I think among the bigger companies that joined lately was XRP. And so, that continues to scale. And, excited to have, Sumeet here. It's timely with Token 2049 coming up in Dubai. Obviously, that's a big event for the ecosystem. So, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lou. And really excited to come back to Crypto Mondays. And I mean, last time also, I remember the call was very good. There were a lot of good questions. I I think we ran ahead of time also. So yeah, this time try to cover all the pending questions and more. And again, like as Lou mentioned, there's token coming in next week. So feel free to kind of, meet me in Dubai when you're here. And looking forward to kind of host you all in Cypher and take you through what Cypher is as well as what are the new initiatives inside Cypher. So let me just share the presentation. I think this will be very easy if you do that. Okay, perfect. I'll just make it full screen. Let me know when you still see it. Okay, is
Yep.
it visible? Okay,
Yep.
perfect. So quick intro about me. I'm one of the investment director at Cypher, and recently I've also taken up a new role as a co-founder of Nest Studio, which is a venture studio backed by Cypher and built inside Cypher. So I've taken the charge of building the team, building products, and the whole pipeline over there. So I'll take you in detail of what the vision was and how and why we did that. But before that, a bit about me. So I started my career with TradFi in JP Morgan, and I am a graduate of IIT Kharagpur and an MBA from NCR. Then after TradFi, I got bored of TradFi a bit because it was like becoming like not exciting for me. So I jumped into the startup world, worked in an early stage company in India, scaled them up to almost 1.5 million users, and that had an exit over there. Went for my MBA, did another startup after that, and COVID kind of killed the startup. So I started working with a family office in Singapore, where I got introduced to crypto, and from that day, I never gone back to the Web 2 world. After 1.5 years of family office, I joined Cypher when Cypher was just setting up their fund, and joined as the first employee and the early employee of Cypher. Been almost 3 years in now in Cypher. I've invested in a bunch of deals, made money, lost money, but a lot of learnings across the way, seen the cycles come and go again and again. But yeah, I mean, one thing I'm really sure of is the people building in crypto and the broader vision. I think we're still going towards that despite what the market is saying. There's still a lot to be done. So yeah, that excites me on a daily basis, and that is why the new initiative also is what we are doing as well. So before we go into studio, I want to give a background about Cypher because that's the more older organization. So Cypher, it's $100 million multi-strategy crypto fund. Now, what I mean by multi-strategy is we do VC, we do liquid deals. Recently, we did a lot of OTC deals also, and now we are going into much of a services side as well, like with crypto, market making in a way. We have some OTC setup also done, so I'll share more about that later. Like what Cypher provides is like we are the biggest fund in UAE, and we are backed by our closely associated with a company called Phoenix Group, which is a public company in UAE, and they are one of the biggest miners of the region with 7% of world's BTC hash rate. Beyond that, Phoenix itself is backed by UAE sovereign fund, and is also behind the leading exchange in UAE called M2.com, which itself is going through a pivot given the market. Cypher is led by Bill, who is chairman of Cypher, and before that, he was working with CZ in Binance Labs and also worked in JD.com. And as I mentioned, in the MENA region, we have a strong presence over here. So we enable our portfolio company to enter the region, help in marketing, help in regulations, and anything that we can help with. We are seeing that a lot lately with the US becoming non-favorable, Europe becoming like closing to crypto. So UA has become the kind of space for uh, crypto founders to explore in the region. And when you come here, you'll realize the energy UAE has right now in crypto world. So yeah, our approach is like as since we are multi-strategy, we can do a bunch of things, but we do in the VC side, we do early stage primarily, which is pre-seed to private rounds. And lately, we've started growth stage because I think it's more opportunistic. We are seeing a lot of good companies undervalued in this market, which are actually revenue positive, which have strong traction, strong product market fit, and we want to kind of build our base. So last November, we got a bunch of Solana, Ton. This season, we bought some Hyperliquid, and we are still looking for like interesting deals which are multi-cycle in a way. And with OTC market in play, we directly deal with either foundation, or if the foundation is not offering any deal, we just like find good opportunity in the public market to buy it off. Beyond that, we also do node operations. So we are running node for Sui at the moment. For Ton, we are in talks with Solana also to run the nodes. So that's how we want to enhance the yield for us and for our one LP single LP. In terms of exit, we take a very fundamental approach when we feel either the company has delivered the roadmap or the roadmap does not exist going forward over here, and we have kind of at a good multiple. We start dealing with the foundation market makers to exit it, but it's a very like tactical approach rather than impacting the price. We take a very fundamental approach in selling also and do it very systematically so it doesn't impact the price in our portfolio. But always kind of discussing with the founders, discussing with the team over there, and conveying the same that okay, I mean this is the time and we are going to return the fund, so keep bear that in mind. Beyond that, we also actually this we just recently changed. We were doing Bitcoin mining. We recently stopped doing Bitcoin mining because of the cost, electricity, and bunch of other things. But before that, we used to do Bitcoin mining, which generates Bitcoin, and this Bitcoin we used to kind of invest in the liquid market, which worked really well in when Bitcoin prices climbed up. And it kind of helped us understand that the benchmark is Bitcoin, which was very hard to beat, which is very hard to beat still. I would say Bitcoin has been the king in the market, and having that kind of benchmark gives us discipline also in the types of deal we are investing in, the return of the fund we have in mind as well. Now, in terms of our regional help for the companies, like local PR is something which we can like, market entry is very essential for them if they want to kind of, raise capital from the market, establish user base in the market. Beyond that, community building for a lot of companies, since we have like a office space in JBR, where we do a bunch of events. Like when you come to Dubai also, every day there are like couple of events going on. So you can look at the Luma page for Cypher and sign up for that. Beyond that, we also like since a lot of companies are establishing their entity in UAE, and there are very established regulators in the market like Vera, DMCC, Hub 71, and so we can provide access to them and guide in the direction of which would be wise for your company at this stage. So we have also helped a bunch of company to set this guideline and help them enter the market in a very regulatory friendly way. And I think that's a very good part about Dubai also, because in terms of regulation, it's clear. So it's not vague. It's not like different for DeFi, different for CeFi, different for XYZ people. Vara has actually done a very good job over here in establishing this regulation and enforcing this regulation as well. So if you are keen to learn more about that, feel free to ask any question. I'm happy to kind of discuss more. And if you are thinking about setting up a company in UAE, again, feel free to email me and I can help you with the journey also. Beyond that, we also have a big hub in Dubai, which actually was co-working until then. Like currently, we have started trading market making entity also. So we established like one part of it as like non-co-working. So the co-working side has gone down or maybe go off, but this is currently kind of open. So that kind of ecosystem that we provide to startups and the companies we invest in. And beyond that, obviously, if there's any help needed by the founders, by the portfolio, happy to kind of support them in their journey. In terms of investment, like our thesis is mostly growth in crypto, and we look at base layers, L1. So that's why we are like being private and public help us understand where the market is moving and where the shift is going to happen. So that is why we took Solana and Ton bets early on, because we are seeing consumer being a major theme. DeFi, we have completely kind of slowed down on because DeFi has become like a niche in the market, but has not gone to masses in the way that was supposed to early on. So we are rethinking our thesis over here. Then app layer adoptions, which is where we heavily invested in, especially in sectors like gaming. We did early on, but right now we are looking into consumer dApps which can talk to the market and which enables adoption and make it easy for the users. And lastly, AI enablement in some way where companies are either leveraging AI or they are building to make AI decentralized or make it more incentive friendly for the users. So that's also something we are looking into. These are our some investment that we have done in infra as well as consumer. Some of them have done really well. Some of them are still kind of growing in the scale they want to. But it's very much kind of infra and consumer are like two basket where we want to highlight some companies which are actually doing good, but unfortunately in this market the token game is not playing well for everyone. So, but we can still say some of them are actually really performing well and can return uh, uh, in terms of the promises that they have made to the consumers and to us on what they're delivering. So I can discuss more into detail on which company I'm personally excited about and what you should closely look into as well. Yeah, beyond that, like when we started thinking about VC, the idea was always to understand the market and figure out the gaps in the market. And if we see a gap which no one is building on, the question always remains that, okay, why is no one building on that? So that gave birth to an idea of setting up a venture studio where we wanted to explore building companies from here so that one, we become better investors. Like once we go through that operation route of building a company, setting up a base, expanding, getting users, that worst case will help us becoming good investors. But best case, we want to kind of we saw the gaps in the market where no one was building into, and we thought, okay, let's just give it a try. We can have a team set up. We have the ecosystem already with Cypher. We can leverage that and fundamentally look at problems which where no one is looking into maybe for some reason, but be make it like very research oriented. So that is why we recently set up like a venture studio. It's called Nest Studio, where the idea is we want to do venture building, which is building ideas from 0 to 1. Once we have like a cycle of 2 or 3 ideas coming out and one maybe has a potential to scale up, we slowly introduce the incubation because the startup will give us the whole ecosystem which we can leverage for all the companies that we incubate, and then backed by research. So these are the 3 pillars of the studio that we have thought of. Currently we are on phase 1 of pillar 1, which is venture studio, like building ideas from 0 to 1. As of now, we have 2 companies or 2 projects like going live on mainnet. There is one, and both of them are consumer focused because we saw this gap where Web3 returns or like DeFi returns were very hard for general audience. So we made like a product to make it easy for people to stake into multiple protocols in one click and go deeper into DeFi without actually facing the complexity of DeFi. So this is the product we built in August last year, and we saw the DeFi market going down. So we are not doing heavy marketing over there. The second one, which we are focused on right now, is Vibes, which is a meme coin discovery platform. But the reason we started with meme coin is because this is more crypto friendly, but this can actually eventually scale to all the token market. I can delve into detail of that, but broadly what it is it gives consumers a easy to use tool which they are familiar of, and help them identify good versus bad meme coins, in a very like, social sentiments, be it like aggregated layer. And I'll drop a QR code for that also if you want to try out the app. We are live on Android and iOS as well, so you can try it yourself. So it's in essence, one word description would be like TikTok marrying moonshot, where you have content, infinite doom scrolling content for meme coins. At the side, you have a fast trading platform, which trading platform can be leveraged across all. And then we have a couple more ideas in the pipeline, which we are in the research phase right now. But we are, I think the constant that we've realized is a very small team. So we need to kind of, focus on one, scale it up fast. Either we fail fast or we scale fast, and then we move on to the next one. But yeah, I can go into more detail about it if you have any specific question. But as of now, that's the journey we are in. Like, it's a very interesting journey for us also, because we are also learning along the way on how founders are operating and what mistakes are we doing, what we can learn, and how we can leverage the ecosystem. As of now, we are happy with where we are in Venture Studio, and we would love to kind of scale it up and see where it goes. Yeah, and after studio, we also want to go into incubation, where we do both pull and push. Pull will be more low touch incubation, where we come across founders and ideas, and that will come out of research, and we kind of find them and then put in like small check in them at early stage. Push will be more, we reach out to professionals, where we come out, let's say someone who has 10 years experience in payment, and then we realize, okay, this is one idea we want to kind of you to build, and we give them like a seed capital to start off with. So this is the long term vision. As of now, we are not at that stage, but maybe in 6 months or 1 year, we'll think about this incubation as well. Yeah, so that's about our studio and my brief presentation. You can download the app using this QR code, and would love to get your feedback since we just launched like last week. So a lot of things we kind of want to improve there as well. And yeah, that's about the presentation from our side, from my side. Any questions, any feedback, any
Terrific.
yeah.
Yeah, no, exciting stuff. I've got a few questions.
Yeah.
If anybody,
Yes.
any of the other community members will have a question, raise your hand and we'll take them in the order received. But to start, during the VC part of your talk, you made mention
Yeah.
of one company that you're particularly excited about. I assumed it was on the consumer side of things.
Yeah. So I think one company that is doing something very different in crypto, which now, like, they didn't think about token a lot because they were building business. I think this is actually, this is two. One is Karate Combat. One is second is Vera, and both of them are very interesting because, yeah, on the looks of it, they look like Web2 companies, but they have a Web3 engine behind them. So Karate Combat is like UFC, but for crypto and for karate, and they are built on crypto rails. So they are running as a DAO. They, all the revenue kind of, they are planning their token, but token, they are not focused on token. They are building in intrinsic use cases within the user base. So the idea of token is to engage audience in betting on the games, in buying merchandise, in buying tickets, and so on. So that will look like a Web2 company, but they are actually completely Web3 from the inside, which is like very interesting for me, and very very excited about what they are doing, and seeing them deliver across bull, across bear, and even and scaling that, like, that has been an exciting journey. Second is
Yeah.
Vera.
By the
Vera
way,
is
so
very. Sorry.
I went to karate combat
Oh, nice. Okay, that's great.
in Denver,
Uh-huh.
and it was exactly what you would think
Yeah.
it would be. It's quite brutal.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's very fast paced, which is what actually audience like about. Like, it's not slow dragging like UFC, but it's like, okay, 10 minutes and you know who's winning, who's losing.
Yeah, I didn't think it was possible to get more bro than crypto parties, but
Yeah.
crypto karate combat is like the broest part of
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah,
crypto.
exactly. Yeah, and I think they are just starting off. I mean, they're a long, long way to go. Like I just met the founders last week. They were in Dubai, and so many exciting things coming now. I'm just very excited for them.
I'm spacing on
Yeah.
the VC who's totally into it. I assume he's
It's this one, Bitcraft,
I'm sorry?
Bitcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
the
yeah,
gaming
no,
VC.
it's super interesting. And what was the other one you wanted to
Yeah,
mention?
yeah, the Vera browser, because I mean, what they have done is they are slowly building up a very small and strong browser, which is competing with Google browser, but they have like completely Web3 rails. They are also taking a very Web2 approach, going towards profitability, but slowly they have got like 5 million users on the dashboard, and you'll hear the name more and more because they are still like in one market they'll be expanding off, and that's like a consumer acquisition play for a lot of web apps in crypto. So I think that they have a long way to go in my view also. So these are lesser known, but something I am very keen on in looking at the journey.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Yeah,
Now you guys have been around investing for 3 years in Dubai. Can you talk
yeah.
about how the ecosystem has evolved during that time?
Oh yeah, yeah, a lot actually. Like when we started in 22, Dubai was known as the scam capital. There's a lot of scams were coming from the. I mean, there still are, but still, I mean, thanks to regulators and government bodies over here are standing up that okay, we need a crypto hub, and Dubai actually can take a position over there. When we saw Singapore taking a U-turn, US also being on and off. So Dubai and the authorities over here, they took charge and set up regulatory bodies. So like all other geographies, you see regulatory bodies, they are shying away. But in Dubai, we have two to three regulatory body competing, which is very strange for us to, which is very actually encouraging and obviously strange because we are seeing regulatory body wanted to regulate crypto companies. So a regulation has completely kind of, they have been setting clear regulation, which is what was missing across the globe. That when you are building DeFi, this is what you need. When you are building CeFi, this is what you need. So that's the best for founders because uncertainty kills them, like is a certainty that kind of enables. So one is obviously regulation, second is the number of talented founders and team that are moving over here. So from 22 to 25, I think the number of teams and number of fringes of teams that okay, like I maybe have a company in US or CIS, but I have a team over here because they find UAE to be more stable. Obviously the tax free thing helps them, but Dubai has done really good in terms of attracting all the nomads to Dubai so that they can have a good
And from
life over
any
here.
particular like with countries that stand out?
I would say India stands out. CIS obviously because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and then but surprisingly, like I've been hearing a lot of US and Canada people moving to Dubai. So this is very recent. I think last 6 to 12 months where I've been hearing a lot of Canada people from Canada and US shifting to Dubai,
Well,
and
apparently they don't want to
and
be a 51st state.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, in terms of talent, also, like when we started off in 22, the conversation we had with the team over there and conversation we are having, it's very much going towards deep tech and building real long-term tech out of here rather than, building short-term meme coins or something that won't last. So I think that's also is, in my view, was changing. And Dubai is doing really hard to bring high quality talent over here. They have a golden visa plan. They have a bunch of things going. So I think that kind of has encouraged a lot of entrepreneurs and just like people working crypto to move to Dubai.
Yeah, that was the thing that really struck me even the first time I went in 2023 was the talent of
Mhm.
the people and the depth of the
Yeah,
talent pool there.
yeah.
Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to for Token 2049, Dubai?
Yeah, I think me personally, I would look for like last year. Actually, that was supposed to be like if the rains wouldn't happen, then you would have seen more people moving to Dubai. But now I think when people come back to Dubai, they'll see like a clear environment. People are actually very open to know about crypto. Like normal people walking on the street, they'll know about crypto. There's so much adoption. You can buy real estate, you can buy cars, you can buy grocery with crypto now. So I think that could encourage a lot of entrepreneurs to explore Dubai. So my hopes from last token was we might attract more talent, but now I think I'll pin it on this token that okay, the talent will start taking Dubai seriously in terms of setting up base over here, and we are seeing a lot of things like coming out of Solana, Super Team, Cosmos in Cosmoverse, and generally
Oh,
Bitcoin has
is there
been.
there's a super team? in
Yeah, there's a huge super team presence in Solana. They're actually pre-token. They've actually just started like a Solana economic zone super team like for the next 2 weeks from now on. They're inviting founders, Solana founders, and people just to show and showcase what Solana can do. So I think super team has been really grown in the last couple of years as well.
Yeah, no, it seems to be one of the more effective
Mm.
community building
Yeah,
programs out there.
yeah.
And the uh, I'm gonna be coming in. We're gonna be doing Crypto Mondays. How much time have
Mhm.
and it's all about decentralized AI. How much time have you guys been spending in that space?
We actually I think 3, 4 months ago, we did a big analysis of what's happening in the AI space and who's doing what. We looked into a bunch of companies, but I think the valuation ran ahead of itself lately. So right now, we are opening our understanding in terms of secondary market. Like if there are any tokens which are doing AI and they've already listed, we are looking into that.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
bunch of different ecosystems. Yeah, we started
yeah,
heard at the top of the call, the Decentralized AI Agent Alliance. With
yeah.
70
Oh,
founding
nice.
members. There's just a tremendous amount going on, and it was kind of weird coming back from East Denver, which for
Hmm.
my experience, I spent it all in decentralized AI, and
Okay.
a lot of complaining that there wasn't as much enthusiasm as people hoped. But I gotta say,
Yeah,
decentralized AI, there was plenty of enthusiasm.
yeah. I think Eat Denver was kind of a bummer for everyone because the market took like a plunge then, and the
Yeah.
sentiment was like all-time low.
Yeah. Geez, my first one was 2019. It was $90.
Oh, wow.
It was, which was down
Uh,
90%. Yeah.
yeah,
So it's not
interesting.
always at the best time. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll leave it up the questions for one more time. If anybody else has questions of Smeet, I thought it gave us a good overview of what Cypher is up to, the new initiative. Was there Sumit, when you were starting Nest, were there any ecosystems that you looked at and said, "Wow, these guys really seem to be doing it well"?
Yeah, I think we looked at a couple of good studios or venture builders that we are doing really well, which were like I'll name a couple of them, which is Anagram, which is like a Solana plus. It's one of Lily's. I think she's one of the partners over there. So they have a huge team of 30 people who actually build projects. The second was
And this is in
1KX. So
Dubai.
one no. Anagram is in US and they're decentralized. Like Dubai, there was no apparent like crypto venture builder. People had tried before, but I think it didn't work out. So we were very clear that we don't want to kind of tie end up with one or two chains. We would rather be more fundamental and look at business as like solving problem which we see in the market and will be very research backed. So both the projects we built, we took a lot of effort into talking to people, into what's missing, where the gap is, and is the gap big enough for us to capture. So hence the both of the projects were built in this fashion, and we took a very fundamental view of building a business rather than just going something and launching a token and that's it. We are not doing tokens for anything because we know, I mean, maybe they don't need it, or we don't kind of we don't have a clear utility for it. So we are looking at a revenue opportunity over here rather than a token launch opportunity, but still open for when if the market clears up, then we can still think about it.
Yeah, interesting. My first startup was out of Idea Lab, the original internet incubator. It
Oh, wow.
started in
Okay.
Los Angeles in 94. I was the
Uh,
55th company started in January of 2000. In February of
Amazing.
2000, they raised $1 billion cash at a $10 billion
Shit. Nice.
valuation. It was crazy town. But it was
Yeah.
still to this day the greatest ecosystem of innovation that I've ever been a part of. And Bill Gross,
Yeah.
the founder, brilliant guy, did a TED Talk in 2015, by which time
Uh-huh.
they had started more than 250 companies, 8 unicorns, the greatest business idea
Wow.
of mankind. Paid search came from Idea Lab. They sold
Hmm.
that company to Yahoo
Interesting.
for 1.6 billion. And anyways, they did a data-driven analysis. He said that when he started Idea Lab, he called it Idea Lab because he thought it was all about the idea.
Yeah.
After a few years, he realized it
Yeah.
was all about management, and then he ran the numbers.
Yeah.
Dominant factor driving success of startups is timing.
Yeah. I mean that actually that's our biggest learning because when we launched the first idea, it was in restaking, staking, and then by the time we were live and we got people, the whole ecosystem took a plunge. So it's like timing is, I would say, 70%, if not like at least 50, because timing can make or break a business. But like you can have an idea, you can execute, but if the timing is wrong, I mean, you can only put up so much effort.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Well,
Yeah,
Sumeet, thanks a lot for taking the time today. I guess we've got a quiet
perfect.
audience today. But I'll be out there on the 27th, and hopefully I'll see you
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Mondays on the 28th, and I'm
Actually, I have a question. Sorry, I
Hey,
missed that.
hey,
Hey,
man, sorry.
Sumit,
Yeah,
good
Hey,
presentation.
that's it.
So, Sumit, I used to work with Vineet. Of
All
course, he
right.
left his own thing. Are you
Yeah.
replacing Vineet? And is
No, no, no,
this
no. So I actually was hired by Vineet, and
okay?
Vineet and me and one of my colleague were the initial core team, and then now Vineet was actually the CEO, and now I mean we don't have a CEO, but I don't think as a like what we have structured into right now, it's very decentralized. Like I am managing studio plus my own investment. My colleague is doing OTC and other things, and Bill has taken the whole charge. So as of now, we have not filled the gap because I think we are just like kind of gone away from the venture only model to bunch of things which we can manage as of now. Yeah.
Yeah. The second thing you mentioned, which I think was quite compelling, was that you work with market makers when you have an upside and without affecting the price. Well, that's great as a utopian thinking that hey, I don't want to affect the price, but everyone's for its own. And what we've seen with
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mantra and everything else, how do you stick to that ethos? Like in the sense that
yeah,
at some point you find you want your exit liquidity and you want to be able to get out
yeah,
that whole stuff. And
yeah.
how do you deal with that fine line?
I think to be very frank with, like, I mean, the one thing that has worked for us is just communicate with the founders. That okay, just let them know, okay, this is what is happening right now. Are like who is if there is a dump, sudden dump, we just talk to them, okay, what's happening? Like, why is it happening? And then whenever we exit, we kind of be transparent about it. And like obviously, you can have minimal impact, but impact is impact. So we try to just minimize it by making it like slow exit. Like I'll tell you honestly, like what we did is like this is very like from January onwards, we started exiting, but we took like a 90-day or a 120-day TWAP in exiting, so that doesn't impact the price. So that is the kind of approach we are taking because we can imagine like some tokens which we have a big bag on. If we dump, it's bad for us also, and bad for the whole ecosystem. So taking that into consideration is like also being selfish, but we know the effort that has gone by the founders to do so. And I think one thing what we've realized is crypto market is very small. So if someone is doing something wrong, it gets out easily. Like you
yeah.
can only hide so much. I mean, you have seen so many stories about market makers, about
Hmm.
good guys, bad guys, and eventually it's all figured out in the end, like who's doing what. So people talk, and like the first thing that comes out is who's doing something wrong.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Lou.
Thanks, Jitin. Okay. Well, again, thanks again, Sumeet, for
perfect.
taking the time. I thought it was
Yeah.
super informative, and I look forward to hanging out in a couple weeks.
Yep, let me know, and looking forward to meet you in person as well as anyone who is coming from Crypto Mondays to Dubai. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Sumeet.
Bye. Bye.